Okay, this is People of the State of Michigan versus Miguel Gonzalez, docket numbers 17-983FH and 19-853FH. Is that Mr. Gonzalez in custody? I thought he was out.
No, he's out.
Okay, so he is iPad 3.
Yes.
Ah, there he is.
Hello.
He's getting. Hi, Mr. Gonzalez. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Miguel Gonzalez, docket numbers 17-983FH and 19-853FH. And Mr. Gonzalez, would you just confirm for me that you are in agreement with doing the sentencing remotely rather than having you here in the courtroom?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, you were convicted of 2 counts, so 1 count on each one of these files of resisting and obstructing a police officer. Those are each felonies, each punishable by up to 2 years in prison. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Taylor. And Mr. Taylor, have you had a chance to review the pre-sentence report with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. For the record, I have received and reviewed the report. Likewise, Mr. Gonzalez has received it. We've discussed it. He has no corrections, changes, or modifications. Likewise, I offer none to this court judge, and we likewise do not challenge the scoring in this matter, if there was a scoring on this case.
Okay, your audio is really bad, but I think you just said no changes to the report and no objections to scoring.
Correct.
Okay, did the people have any changes to the report or objections to scoring?
No, Your Honor.
Did the people wish to be heard?
Only to say, Your Honor, this case has been going on for a very long time and we were able to finally resolve it. And I'm glad to see Mr. Gonzalez doing well. You know, part of the reason it lasted for so long is we were really trying to get a grapple with the mental health situation that was going on. And that was in terms of all the overall resolution on the cases, what the victims wanted to. On the cases we dismissed, there was 2 victims from Sparrow Hospital. And all they really want also is for him to not be back in the same situation where this is happening again in another hospital to another employee or to these deputies. They all acknowledged that at the time this was occurring, he did not seem like he was himself, that there was clearly something else going on. And I think that having a grip on all of that will help him in the future. And I really, really hope that, you know, this will be the start of him, you know, his life going in the positive direction that I think it can be. So I'm glad to see him out of custody. He seems great today. And that's what my hope is for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, I'll hear from you.
Likewise, Your Honor, I echo everything that the prosecutor said. I wanted to also, again, thank her office and her specifically for not only being patient in this matter, but being understanding and keeping an eye on what really was the underlying issue here. I can say on behalf of my client that obviously, in my view, this was an issue related to his mental health. And having said that, I've had a chance to engage with him since he's been out. I certainly have engaged with his mother on a number of occasions, and she wants the world for him, and she understands that this may be a ongoing challenge in the future. However, I can say with Mr. Gonzalez, certainly, especially since he's gone to the forensic center this last time, and since I've talked to him since he's been out, he's a well-spoken young man, a thoughtful young man, and I will offer, you know, myself in the future for him beyond this legal realm, that if he should ever need someone to reach out to, or he has questions, or whatever he wants to call it. I'm older than he is, and so I guess in some sense I can be a mentor for him. But I'm offering my services to Mr. Gonzalez because I know that it's going to be it may be a tough road here and there, but I think he's got the support system around him, including his mother, that will allow him to do the things that are necessary to stay on this side of the law.
Great, thank you. And Mr. Gonzalez, did you want to say anything?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, you're looking very well, Mr. Gonzalez. It's really good to see you this way.
Thank you.
Are you feeling well?
Yes, I'm feeling good.
That's very good. You know, your medication makes a big difference. I mean, you're like a different person. I hope that you realize that and how important it is for you to follow through and always take your medication, because You're just a very nice young man when you're getting the proper treatment, and when you're not, well, I mean, you've harmed people with criminal behavior and ended up in jail for a long period of time over it. So it's really, again, really good to see you healthy. And on docket number 17-983FH, you are sentenced to 365 days in jail with credit for 525 days already served. You have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. Those are required by law. I can't waive them, but I'm waiving any other additional costs that I could impose as discretionary costs. And then on docket number 19-853FH, you are sentenced to 365 days in jail with credit for 507 days served, $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. I'm waiving any further costs. Mr. Gonzalez, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in these matters. You're entitled to an attorney at public expense to assist you in doing that. If you're making a request for one, you have to make it within 42 days of today's date. There is a form that you use to do that. We will send it to you. However, you just need to know that if you do want to appeal, that time of 42 days starts running from today. Okay, do you have any questions before we go, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, good luck to you, and that will conclude